Hello, welcome to episode number 200 and I believe 348 even of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for week 4 of March 2023. We are now just 12 days away from WrestleMania and we're still chugging along, you know, very much at the point where a lot of these feuds are pretty much ready to go for the show. But we do have 2 more shows to get through, including this one. And of course, we're going to have to address the elephant in the room from last week's show regarding the Raw Tag Team Championship situation. Because that is a big old pile of crap that I've got to deal with. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. We start in Triple H. Well, it's Alexa's office, but Triple H is in there instead of Alexa because, you know, he's the big boss right now. And, yeah. Humberto, Lazergus and Xia Li are in there with him, obviously discussing the situation. And he goes, look, you know, obviously it's... What happened to Akira was not unexpected. And a tragedy, and we wish him all the best. But, boys... You know, I brought you in here to discuss WrestleMania and the status of the Raw Tag Team Championships as Tozawa can't compete. And Zergus immediately steps up and he goes, there is no status about the Raw Tag Team Championships, huh? I'll defend them. Me and Humberto will defend these titles against Ichiban at WrestleMania. And Humberto goes, no, but Zergus, you've got the Intercontinental Championship match. He goes, you earned the right to be in that match. You go and make yourself a champion. Zergus goes, well, fighting for this team has been my MO since I got here in WWE, and I'm not just going to sit back and watch you have to give these titles up. And the Triple H goes, let me finish. You don't have to worry about any of that. You know, obviously, times like this, I can make some exceptions. So here we go. Right, WrestleMania 2-night event. And you know, we've already given Baron Corbin, of all people, double duty on that show. So, Zergus, you can keep your spot in the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. That will be on night 1. Then on night 2, you can defend the Raw Tag Team Championships alongside Humberto against Nakamura and Suzuki. That way, Path of the Dragon's reign continues, and you still get that shot. And then Humberto goes, well, I guess that's the most ideal situation of all. And you go, good luck against Nakamura tonight. I'm pulling for you after everything you've gone through last week. Go get them, boys. And then they leave. So we address the situation quickly. Technically now, Humberto and Zergus are the Raw Tag Team Champions, which is going to annoy me. Because, yeah. when they end up losing the belts, it will go down as a Humberto and Zergus reign, and Tozawa will get no credit for it. But, you know, what can I do? The game is... unless they keep the belts until Tozawa gets back, you know, that's not out of the realm of possibility because, you know, they're the best tag team in the world. But then we cut to the ring for the first time tonight. And the actual show starts with Cody, Dustin, and Brandy all coming down, the entire Rhodes family. And he goes, it's been too long since I came out here on Monday Night Raw, my show, and spoke to you people. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about WrestleMania? Do you want to talk about me punching my ticket to WrestleMania, going on to finish my story, getting my second shot at Destiny, defeating Seth Rollins, defeating Roman Reigns, and becoming the WWE Champion? Do you want to talk about my wife making her return after she was brutally assaulted by Solo Sikoa on my last month? Do you want to talk about Dustin making his way back after Seth Rollins assaulted him in the parking lot? Because that's what we do. We're fighters. We're a family full of fighters, and Roman, you've got your bloodline. It may be in a bit of tatters right now. Rollins, you think you can break up Roman's bloodline. But there's one thing stronger than any of them, and that's the Rhodes family. So, I may be walking down at WrestleMania physically all alone, but I'm going to have my daddy watching, I'm going to have my brother by my side, I'll have my wife by my side, my little baby girl by my side, and all of you people by my side. And I hear there's a pretty big match coming up on Friday. You know, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Seth Rollins, Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. Boys, try not to kill each other before WrestleMania, because I don't want any excuses. When I make my dreams come true on the grandest stage of them all, I want to have earned it against the very best of this generation, which, don't get me wrong, is exactly what you two are. But I want you to at 100%. So, may the best team win on Friday, and the week after that, I'll see you there for this little face-to-face-to-face that we're having. So yeah, let's get Cody on Raw. Mainly because, well, I needed to get Cody on Raw. And also I needed a nice opening segment because all of the feuds I was advancing tonight, none of them really felt opening segment-y. So yeah. Cody's out here to give us a pep talk like only Cody can. Oh my goodness. Here's an opening match. Obviously on Velocity last week, if you didn't see, we crowned the challengers for Death from Above's Trio Championships at WrestleMania. It will be MSK's Wes Lee, Tristan Ellison, and Leslie Young. After, you know, what happened to Joaquin Wilde, I believe it was, got injured for Legado. So we're going to do a little showcase match because Metalik is still a Raw wrestler. Wes Lee is a Velocity guy, he can float, you know. He can appear on Raw, he can appear on SmackDown, but he's like a Velocity wrestler. But Metalik is a part of Raw. So yeah, we'll just do this match here. And Wes Lee gets the win. He beats Grand Metalik in 10:35 by submission. Wes Lee gets an 86 and a 78 for Grand Metalik. Nice. And then after the match, Wes Lee celebrating his win when we hear, no, cut it. Cruiserweight action here without speaking to us. Okay, right. First of all, we're happy to see Cruiserweight wrestling back on the Monday Night Raw stage. It's great for the whole brand. But you can't have Cruiserweight wrestling on this show without the face, the new face of Cruiserweight wrestling. This man, Dominic Mysterio, the Cruiserweight Champion. Now, last week, some authority, Alexa, Triple H, maybe someone higher, deemed Dominic Mysterio's actions against his family the week prior inexcusable. And he was banned from appearing on Raw last week. Well, guess what? We're back tonight. And the king of Cruiserweight Wrestling, the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling, isn't done calling out his deadbeat father because we've got a proposition for you, Daddy. And then Dominic takes the mic and he goes, so yeah, Dad, you know, I'm sorry, you know. I'm sorry I put your hands on Mom, your wife. Okay? But you gotta understand that I'm done with you guys and I'll soon be done with you too. Ray's music hits and he makes his way out to the ring with just Aaliyah. And he's not here this week for obvious reasons. And then Ray gets into the ring. He goes, I'm here. What is it, son? What do you want? He goes, Dad, you know, I've been thinking a lot about this, you know, this situation between me and you here. How you've broken promises to me, you didn't hand me down your mask, you disrespected me my entire childhood, and now I've finally had enough, and I'm finally above your success. Now, it's to the point where I don't need to wrestle you. You need to wrestle me. And Dominic and Ray just shakes his head, he goes, no, I'm not going to fight you. He goes, really? Come on. You know, like, do you not remember what happened to Mom, you know? Your wife looking up at you in shock because her son shoved her to the ground, huh? All the respect I've been treated with over these years finally coming back to haunt me, huh? Because, let me tell you something, Ray. If you were a terrible father, then Mom, she was also a terrible mother. And Ray, of course, is fucking livid. And he gets in Dom's face. And they go like, hey, they put their, like, they go face to face, like, put their foreheads up against each other, like Ray wants to smack him. Dom goes, oh, did I strike a nerve, little man? Did I strike a nerve, huh? What you gonna do about it, huh? You gonna hit me? Gonna hit me? And then Ray, of course, just backs away. Looks at Ilja, just sort of shakes his head, and she's like, no, don't rise to him, Dad. He goes, figures. He goes, well, if you don't want to hear my proposition, you got no interest in, you know, a match. Get out of my ring, huh? And then Ray just sort of stands there, facing away from Dominic. And then Dominic shoves and goes, I said leave! Shoves Ray, he trips, and bumps into Ilja, and Ilja takes a bump to the floor instead. And Ray, of course, looks down in horror. And then he sort of looks up all angry at Dom. And then Dom goes, oh, what's the matter now? Well, she deserved it too, you know, for not being by my side, by sucking up to you and pretending that everything's all sunshine and rainbows here, Dad, but it ain't, okay? And then Ray turns around. He stares at Dominic. And Dom goes, what is it? You gonna finally hit me? You gonna hit me, huh? And then Ray smacks Dominic in the face finally at last. And then Dom, of course, is shocked and appalled as the massive pop. And he's like, oh my god, he actually hit me. Then Anthony steps into the way and goes, whoa, okay. Right. Before this gets any further, Rey Mysterio, the old face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. Dominic Mysterio, the current new face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. Here is the proposition. You, Rey Mysterio, are a terrible father and an even worse human being. But you do have the iconic mask throughout the years that has sold all this merchandise, become the most iconic mask in Cruiserweight Wrestling. And then Ray goes, shut up, niece, to a big pop. And he goes, I don't want to hear this from him. This is between me and you, father and son, talking now. This doesn't have to be this way, but you continued to push my buttons, my family, your family, around. And we're sick of it, Dom. You want this mask, huh? This stupid mask means so much to you they're gonna tear your whole family apart for it? This title getting into your head, making you think you're better than everybody else? Someone needs to teach you a lesson. So, if you taking the Mysterio name and the Mysterio mask is so important to you, Dom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I clung on for as long as I did and didn't give you your moment to shine. As a father, I could do better. And then Dom goes, yeah, you could. But here's my proposition, huh? You want to keep pushing my buttons, keep shoving your family to the floor, keep trying to forge a wedge in this entire family? I'll get into the ring with you at WrestleMania. You put your title on the line, and I'll take it from you, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll see the light. Because I still see some of my son in you. And maybe taking that championship from you will bring you back down to earth. But if you beat me, I'll give you the mask. You will be the one and only Mysterio here in WWE, and I ride off into the sunset. What's it gonna be, son? You willing to take that bet? And then Dom sort of, he looks around and he thinks. He looks at Nice, and he asks, like, what are we gonna do, Anthony? And then Ray decks Anthony Nice, and he goes, don't ask him, you tell me. Are we on? And Dom goes, course we are, Pops. I can think of nothing I'd rather do than end your pathetic career at WrestleMania and ride on the true face of Cruiserweight Wrestling, because when people see that mask, Dad, they won't think of you. They'll think of me. And then he walks out of the ring. Anthony Nice, of course, scurries behind him. We then come backstage, Kathy Kelly, wide-eyed, in shock at what she'd just seen, but her guest, Charlotte Flair and the Queen's Court. And Kathy goes, tonight, you and Rhea Ripley up next, I think. Now, it might be a little bit later, but it's up soon, at least. Taking on Nova Nebula and Sasha Banks, How are things looking for you heading into a match with Nova at WrestleMania? Because first of all, Nova's on a bit of a hot streak right now. Okay, whoop-de-doo. She won the Elimination Chamber. She beat these three, okay? They're not exactly doing me proud right now. That's not exactly an achievement, beating these three. Okay, Rhea, last week, okay, big win. But that was all thanks to Sasha, okay? Because whether she likes it or not, this ain't no place for little alien girls, okay? This is a place for royalty, and this is my throne. My show, okay? You've got Bianca and Utami arguing about who owns what show. Bianca saying Raw's her show. No, Raw's my show. Raw will continue to be my show after WrestleMania, when I beat Nova 1, 2, 3 and keep a hold of my Raw Women's Championship. And then Rhea Ripley walks in. And she goes, "You're right, Charlotte. You know, you holding that title does sort of make you the big girl around here. But you're only holding it because you're not giving me my rightful rematch that I'm owed after you screwed me out of that championship back at New Year's Revolution." So I was like, whoa, okay, well, we'll deal with this another time because, you know, like, we've got to team up against Nova and Sasha. So let's put that discussion away and we'll get back to it in the future. Future Rhea and future Charlotte, we'll have a chat about that. But right now, all that matters is us going out there, woman to woman, enemy of my enemy, and making a statement. And Rhea just chuckles and goes, "Yeah, sure." 93. You know, I think I said last week when I announced this that, this would probably end up being the main event. I went with Imperium versus the Regal Coalition. But apparently this would have also been a very good main event. So we'll have to see how the six-man tag does later on. And this is even with terrible chemistry for Charlotte and Rhea, which, again, I did know beforehand because the game warned me. But Nova Nebula pins Nova pins Charlotte to win the match for her team. 82 for Nova, 91 for Sasha, 80 for Charlotte, 77 for Rhea. Again, that's a chemistry thing. Because, like, it's not just, they've got a little bit. It says they've got absolutely, they didn't work in a team, timing was all over the place. Which I think it might be the worst chemistry ding in the game. But yeah. So, the babyfaces pick up the win here, and Sasha and Rhea's road to WrestleMania just heated up. But also, if Nova does that in 12 nights, we'll have a new Raw Women's Champion. We then see Jeff Jarrett and Baron Corbin backstage. Double J's on his phone, and he goes, "You're going to be here next week. Teach AJ Styles a lesson that you don't miss with the high rollers, okay?" "Yes, okay, got him." And Corbin says, "What do you say?" He's coming, you know, next week. High rollers. This whole thing's kicking off. They're going to teach AJ Styles a lesson. And then at WrestleMania, AJ's going to learn a lesson again when he learns not to step to an old rival because JEFFJARRETT is going to put him down for good. And you, Corbin, are going to get 2 wins at WrestleMania. That's twice the extra payday. And we love our payday around here, don't we, Corbs? He goes, "I can't wait. You know, that Battle Royal is going to be a cakewalk. I already won it once before. That was back when I first debuted here, and I've only gotten better since then." Okay? Corbin, 2 WrestleMania wins. Rack 'em up, baby, rack 'em up. So, someone is coming next week. A new ally of Jeff Jarrett and Baron Corbin. And they're going to take on AJ Styles in singles action. We then get the Regal Coalition reunited for one night only because they're training for the 6-man tag main event, and Regal goes, "Come on, boys, you know, just like old times, you know, Dudley, Pete, Ilja, we're going at it, you know." Because at WrestleMania, the Regal Coalition's blood still bleeds within all of you, okay? And you've got to leave that blood, sweat, and tears on that mat if you want to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And I have faith in every single one of you that if it came down to it, you'd stab each other in the back without a hesitation if it meant becoming the world champion. And you will know that, and you will respect that about each other. But tonight it's about Gunther. Tonight it's about Ludwig and Giovanni. Tonight it's about Imperium meeting with the Regal Coalition. Their bond stands tall. Where are all the matches today? Okay. We then cut to like a dark mountain or whatever, the evil lair. Joe Gacy looking out over the battlefield, and he goes, "Well, that sure was an eventful meeting with our dear friends, wasn't it? And now it seems that the end is very much in sight. The end is just around the corner, and I have my army to help my quest for peace. But our friends, they have recruited a new ally. They have recruited the nameless warrior who will fight by their side." And then we see Karrion Kross walk up behind Joe Gacy, like still standing in the shadows, and he goes, "I know a thing or two about that guy." And Gacy goes, "Well, Mr. Kross, at the grand stage, if you and your crew could take care of him, that would be lovely. But leave the other four to us. I know their weakness. I know what makes them tick. And when I win, there'll be nothing more but shells of their former selves as I, Joe Gacy, rise to glory and take it all. And you, Karrion, and the rest of the Resistance can say that you were on the right side of history." Segment. Okay, right. So, Ivy and Tatum come out for their match. And then right before the bell rings, Alexa's music hits, and she walks down to ringside. She just sort of stands down ringside. She goes, "Come on." Like, ring the bell. And the referee rings the bell, and the match starts. And Tatum's, of course, distracted at Alexa being out there. She goes, "Come on, don't let my presence distract you. Come on, I booked this match. That's why to get a front row seat." Alexa pulls up a chair, like, sits there, drinking coffee. And Ivy, like, Tatum gets Ivy in a headlock, like, looking at Alexa. And then she goes to bounce off the ropes, but Alexa, like, swipes her feet and trips her up. And she goes, "Oh my god, Tatum, you fell. Like, come on, get up, get up, get up." And the referee starts to, like, warn Alexa, going, "Hey, stop getting involved." And then Alexa throws the coffee in the referee's face, and the referee takes a stumble to the outside, right as Tatum hits the finisher. And then there's no count. And then Alexa sort of just looks around, she picks up the referee, puts the referee shirt on, slides into the ring, and then counts. 1, 2... And then Ivy kicks out, like, "Oh, my arm." And Tatum goes, "What the hell? Like, come on. What are you doing?" And then Ivy rolls up Tatum. We get 1, 2, 3. And Ivy wins. With a fast counter pinfall. 86 for... No, 86? Fuck me. 46 for Ivy, 44 for Tatum. And then after the match, as soon as Ivy wins, Alexa's like, "Oh my god, Ivy, you won." She gives her a big hug. And then she goes to raise Ivy's arm, and Ivy, like, pulls her arm away and just, like, stares at Alexa before just leaving the ring at her own accord. And she's like, "Well, okay, like, I helped. Fuck me for helping, I guess." Oh, that is that segment here. I just couldn't remember if I put that in as a segment. That is what this is, even though it has Tatum there instead of Ivy. We see Triple H just, like, watching the show on the TV in his office, like, shaking his head, like, "Oh my god, Alexa." And then we hear Anthony Nese barge into the office, and he goes, "Where's Mysterio? Rey Mysterio?" And Triple H goes, "He left, after what you did earlier on tonight. Him and Aaliyah left, to go home, see their wife, the wife that your boy here shoved to the ground 2 weeks ago." Don goes, "Hey, she deserved it." And then Triple H just glares at her, and he goes, "What do you want?" And he goes, "Well, I know it's big box office, okay. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, mask versus title at WrestleMania. Cruiserweight wrestling is being put back on the map. But I hate to break it to you, Trips. Can I call you Trips? Do you prefer Hunter?" And he goes, "Hunter?" He goes, "Okay, Hunter. Good. I'd hate to break it to you, but I wouldn't go announcing Ray versus Dom for WrestleMania, because Ray ain't gonna make it to WrestleMania. Okay? Because Ray has made the one key mistake here in WWE. He's messing with the niece business, okay? And when you mess with the niece business, do you know what you get? You get smacked by Anthony Nice, the head of the niece business and the architect of the new face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. And if that washed up old face of Cruiserweight Wrestling wants to show his old ass up on Velocity this week, I'ma smack him silly and make sure he never makes it to WrestleMania. Triple H goes, whatever, get out of my office, I'll speak to RJ. Just, I don't want to see you two. And Nice goes, well, okay, sorry, boss. But they get Alexa. Huh. Look at the ratings here. That's interesting. Not Alexa. I said Alexa. I meant Bianca. She's in the ring. She goes, so girls, once me and, Utami, we're going head to head to find out who the franchise player is. And quite frankly, I'm quite happy with WrestleMania this year because Utami's someone I've been wanting to step into the ring with for a while, but, these pesky brands have been keeping us apart. So for us to find the true franchise player here in the WWE Women's Division, me and her are going face to face in this dream match. But then I came over to her show and I won, and she's got beef with me, girl. Okay. You think you can I outshined you on your show? Well, why don't you come over to my show tonight, and then I'll show you who really runs this yard. Then out come Jordan, Skylar, and Aaliyah. Like, no Charlotte, just them three. And Lord Jordan's like, well, Bianca, it's great to see you out here, we're big fans. But we can't help but sit back and watch you say, your show, who runs this yard in this women's division? Not you. I don't see the championship on you, Bianca. Okay, I did, briefly, back in New Year's Revolution, before, the Queen beat you and took that championship home for herself, and then she beat you with the Royal Rumble and you failed to win the Elimination Chamber. God, you're not really having a good run of things around here, are you, Bianca? She goes, you're saying that to me, you three, okay? When's the last time you even won anything? And Jordan just laughs and goes, huh? Well, tonight, when Utami's not around and you are promised a tag team match, so Aaliyah and Skylar will gladly beat you. And then 2-on-1 assault, or 3-on-1 assault, Utami does run out to make the save. And then we get the tag match, which will be the Platinum Princesses against Bianca and Utami. 85. Okay. There was something I really wanted to check here. 74 for Skylar, 75 for Aaliyah. Okay, so never mind then. I'll get to what that was all about in a minute. But anyway, the match. 10-12. Utami pins Skylar. So, you can probably guess the finish here. Bianca Belair running roughshod on her own show. I'd imagine the finish would probably have her going up, getting both women up for a KOD, hitting the KOD, and then she climbs into her corner, goes up top for a 450 splash. Utami tags herself in, and then pins Skylar to win for the team, the franchise players fighting off at WrestleMania team. 83 for Utami, 89 for Bianca, 74 for Skylar, 75 for Aaliyah. And then after the match, Utami just sort of chuckles at Bianca and slides out of the ring, and Bianca goes, girl, like, what the fuck? Don't you show me up, bitch. We then get this segment. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler are chatting backstage. And Dolph goes, it's been a while, since we've been back here on Raw together, me and you. A lot has changed since then, You've been WWE champion, you've been World Heavyweight champion, you're rocking and rolling right now, and I'm fighting Logan Paul. And Drew goes, well, I'd rather be fighting Logan Paul than having to put up with Bray Wyatt and his stupid mind games, okay? These puppet men, I'm going to kick all their heads off, Bray goes, it's not me. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bray. I don't care if it's Uncle How, or Uncle When, Where, or Why. Anyone who gets in my face getting their head kicked off at WrestleMania, I'm going to win. I put Bray Wyatt down and send him back wherever he came from. And you, Dolph Ziggler, are going to beat Logan Paul and cement your name at WrestleMania. Your first ever win at WrestleMania, might I add. Sorry, no offense. No hard feelings. And Dolph goes, oh, none taken, but it's going to be a from off camera. Then into frame walks Babyface. And he goes, pardon my interruption, gents, but, there's a lot of WrestleMania chit-chat going on around here. And I'm not on WrestleMania, So I got nothing to lose. Maybe I'll win that Battle Royal, which, would quite suit me, but you're talking a big game for, being Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. So, Dolph, you have had as many WrestleMania appearances, singles appearances in front of a live crowd as Logan Paul, that being 0. Where's the lie? Dolph Ziggler, you have as many WrestleMania victories as Logan Paul, that being 0. Where's the lie? And Drew last year, of course, you came up short at WrestleMania. Where was the lie? And at WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt's going to get into your head, and you're going to lose to Bray Wyatt. Because, folks, where's the lie? And then Drew goes, okay, you got jokes. Okay? I've got one for you, Bobby. Listen here. Drew McIntyre's a very busy man tonight. But Drew McIntyre will be here next week. And Drew McIntyre's going to call out Bray Wyatt. But before then, Drew McIntyre can have a match on Raw. And he's going to have a Claymore in store for Babyface. Where's the lie? And then he leaves. And then Bobby goes, I'll find the lie. The lie's in me beating you next week, Drew. That ain't no lie. So, Drew McIntyre and Babyface next week here on Raw. We then get this segment. The Imperium locker room. It just shows Ludwig, putting his knee pads on or whatever, getting ready for the main event, when Giovanni Vinci walks in his suit and his sunglasses. And he goes, "Sup, Ludwig?" And he goes, "Where have you been, Gio?" He goes, just looking around, trying to get the jump on Orton and Edge, before WrestleMania. And he goes, "Well, we've got this 6-man tag match tonight. Imperium back together for one night only." And then Gunnar walks in, he goes, "That's right. And you can scratch my back, and I will scratch yours if you need it scratched." And Gio goes, "Well, that's fakes, but me and Ludwig have got ours under control. But hey, what better way to commemorate this occasion?" And then he pulls his phone out and he goes to take a selfie in the Imperium locker room. And Ludwig and Gunnar are just giving him death glares as we have that shit-eating Giovanni Vinci grin. And before he can take the photo, Gunnar just looks at him, looks at the phone, and smacks the phone on the floor. And he goes, "What the hell?" And then Gunnar gives him a chop in the chest. And then he goes, "Focus! If you want to be my partner, you have to be Imperium, not this." And then Gio gets, I get it, yeah, 83, yeah, whatever, I'm sure they were both off their game after what happened to Tozawa, And, again, originally Nakamura was going to win this match, and the entire story was going to be Ichiban they had the number of Path of the Dragon heading into WrestleMania. But I felt like giving Humberto the win was the better call after the Tozawa stuff. So yeah, Humberto picks up the win. 12-13 moonsault, 88 for Shinsuke, 86 for Humberto. And yes, we do now know it will be Humberto Carrillo and Zergis defending against Minoru Suzuki and Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania. We then see the Queen's Court, walking through the hallway going, "I can't believe, Bianca and Utami got us." And Charlotte goes, "Girls, what are you doing? Did I ask you to go out there and confront those girls? No, you did that, okay? If you want to at least do your own thing around here, be a part of this, instead of being part of this court, okay? You just know who the leader is around here. This isn't, the four queens, the queen's group of equal intellectuals. No, this is your court. You serve me, and I never said go out there and do that. And now you're embarrassing me by taking all these losses." And then Jordan goes, "Well, surely you embarrassed yourself when you lost earlier on tonight. And Charlotte, of course, stops. Just turns around and goes, excuse me? And she goes, oh, my bad, Charlotte, sorry. She goes, yeah, you're bad. Okay, you know what? I thought that WrestleMania would be a cakewalk because, God, my girls will have my back. I can trust them with my life. But at this point, don't even bother showing up. And Charlotte walks off, leaving Jordan, Aaliyah, and Skylar with egg on their face. Oh, what I meant to say earlier on was I wanted to check something. I specifically booked Aaliyah and Skylar in a match this week because I wanted to see how Skylar specifically had performed. Because I believe yesterday in-game, she popped her boobies out in a magazine, and her popularity went up to, I think, like 70, and her sex appeal went up to 92, and her star quality went up 10. So I wanted to know if, like, oh, now she's got more pop and higher stats here, is she going to be performing any better? But Aaliyah still outscored her, so either it wasn't noticeable or nothing happened, basically. A video package hyping up the IC title and, you know, all the great Intercontinental champions of the past, including, of course, Razor Ramon, the man who the ladder match is named after for the title this year. Who will leave as the Intercontinental champion? Will it be Montez Ford? Will it be Sheamus? Will it be Zergis? Will it be Mustafa Ali? Will it be Chad Gable? Will it be John Morrison? Or will Angelo Dawkins keep a hold of the gold? We've only got 12 days to find out. This might be one of the best in-ring performing episodes of Raw I've ever done. But yeah. What this is a women's battle royal showcase. Some of the women who are going to be involved in that. Florence, Julia, and Sonya against Indy and Tegan and Kylie. And if you check the Road Agent notes, I have J-Flow out there. So this is just, you know, the match starts, we get like a minute of wrestling before the J-Flow theme hits. They come out on stage and start singing and dancing about how they're going to win the Battle Royal. And I could have set this to be distraction for everybody, but that seems dumb, so yeah. But they do distract everybody. They're just around dancing throughout the match. And then eventually, Florence pits Indy Hartwell down. 74 for Sonya, 83 for Julia, 75 for Florence, 71 for both Indy and Tegan, and a 70 for Kylie Ray. So yeah, 85 for that. I wasn't expecting that. You know, I thought this would be a bit of a cool down match, but no. We're just still non-stop bangers, apparently. After the match, J-Flow stormed down to the ring. And they go, no. I win Battle Royal. Me. And then Florence just smacks the mic out of her hand. And then a brawl ensues. J-Flow, Florence, Julia, Sonya. Probably in Tegan and Kylie as well. Just a big fight, you know. Battle Royal hype, baby. Maybe somebody even gets tossed over the top rope. And do you know if that happens at WrestleMania, they will be eliminated? I bet you didn't. We then get Kathy Kelly. She's backstage with Trish Stratus. Specifically just Trish. And she goes, Trish, you know, you and Lita running the hands back. You know, you already won the Women's Tag Team Championship once before. Like 2.5 years ago. So how are you feeling about possibly becoming 2-time champions at WrestleMania this year? And Trish was like, well, you know, it's always an honor to step back into this ring. I get to get that phone call. It's even more of an honor to do so at WrestleMania and for a championship. Oh, you know, me and Lita are rolling. And Liv and Sheeta then walk into frame. And then Liv goes, you know, as big as it is for you, you know, it's just as impressive for me because this WrestleMania means a lot to me personally because I'm wrestling two of my idols. You know, my former best friend. There's a whole lot of different emotions going into my match. I wanted to let you know, Trish, that win, lose, or draw, it'll be my honor. And Trish looks at her, she laughs, she goes, you know, Liv, you know, don't put yourself down like that, you know. It'll be my honor to be able to hang with the best of this generation, but hey, like I was saying before you interrupted, I'm glad you're actually here, though. Because, like you said, it has been 2.5 years since I've been in a ring. And, you know, it wouldn't hurt to shake that ring rust off before WrestleMania. And I'm sure Lita feels the same way, too. So how about it, girls? Next week, us and Lita against you two. And Liv goes, you're on, you know, fine. Yes. Next week, though, we get a decently okay stacked-sized WrestleMania go-home show, starting with the match just announced. Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida, the Women's Tag Team Champions, will team up against WWE Hall of Famers Lita and Trish Stratus ahead of the Triple Threat Women's Tag Team match at WrestleMania. We'll also have the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and Nova Nebula making it official, signing their contract for their match on the grandest stage of them all. And then, as we heard, Jeff Jarrett and Baron Corbin, they've got some other friend, some other bag getter, who's making his way to Raw next week, and he's taking on AJ Styles. And finally, after their brief interaction backstage, Drew McIntyre has said next week he's going to call out Bray Wyatt. But first, he has to deal with a pesky little fish. Bobby Fish. Where is the lie? There, indeed. Moving on to WrestleMania. No new match. Actually, you know, one new match has been announced. Moving on to WrestleMania, we've only had one new match announced tonight, but we had to have two more. We have to show the graphics off for, because this one I just forgot last week. Randy Orton and Edge rated RKO reunite to take on Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci in tag team action. And also, right at the very end of last week's show, it was made official: Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks will go one-on-one in Tampa in 12 nights' time. Well, 12 or 13, I don't know what day it's going to be on. But yes, that match will be going down. Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. And finally, earlier on tonight, the Cruiserweight Championship match was made official. Rey Mysterio will challenge his son Dominic, the Cruiserweight Champion. Mask versus title for the Cruiserweight Championship of the world at WrestleMania 39. $84, whatever, bleh. That tells me that, you know, a lot of the matches I'm doing now are like ways to like sort of foreshadow and have a look at WrestleMania without actually booking WrestleMania, because I think pre-booking like that and doing practice runs is silly. So this was sort of a test to see like what the right time is going to be for this four-way, and apparently not 21 minutes. But it is the Imperium team, one night only. Vinci, Kaiser and Gunther picking up the win over Dragunov, Davis and Dunne. The Triple D, as you could call them. When Giovanni Vinci apparently... No. Gunther pins Ilja Dragunov, it says there. Okay, yeah. I was reading here, it said Giovanni Vinci defeated Ilja Dragunov. Yeah. So yeah, Gunther pins Ilja Dragunov with a golden bomb. 96 for Gunther, 82 for Vinci, 83 for Kaiser, 87 for Dunne, 83 for Davis, and 91 for Ilja Dragunov. After the match, we finally get the Imperium pose, all three men together, standing tall in the middle of the ring, Gunther with a world title around his waist, when Pete Dunne and Dudley get in the face of Gunther. And they start brawling with him, and they brawl off. And then Vinci and Kaiser sort of try and join in, trying to fight them off. But then we hear a big pop, because behind them slides rated RKO. And then, of course, they turn around. Ludwig's dropped immediately with an RKO. And Vinci's dropped with a spear. And rated RKO stand tall over the fallen bodies of Vinci and Kaiser. And then, I'd imagine the segment would air on, like, Raw Talk or whatever. So we've got a whole week to build it up. But, like, I couldn't announce it earlier than this. Gunther said he'd scratch Imperium's back should they need it. So next week, on the Go Home to WrestleMania edition of Raw, the main event. This sounds like the main event to me. Gunther, 1-on-1 with Randy Orton. 90 rated show. Apparently I picked one of the worst matches to main event with. I literally could have main evented with this, and it would have done a better rating. Okay, nice to know that I should have actually stuck with my guns and main evented with that. But we are not done today because we do have Heat coming up shortly. Heat kicks off with tag team action. A 70 rated tag team match. When Yoko Uehara and Kamiko Sakanaka defeat Mandy Rose and JC Jane. When Yoko pins Mandy with the Micah Cutter. 74 for Mandy, 58 for JC, 72 for Yoko, and a 47 for Kamiko. I actually perfectly fine beating Mandy and JC as often as I do as a tag team, because, like, they're not the tag team. Like, Mandy and JC should be easier to beat than JC and Gigi, even though Mandy's in it and she's the leader, because JG and JC are the tag team. You get me? Okay. Yes, so they beat Mandy and JC here tonight. Mandy takes the pin because, of course, got to make JC look strong for all the Janiacs out there. Oh, 73? I won't expect this to do this well. I know 73 is not like blow away good, but for a Sol Ruka match it is. Zelina pins Sol 9-10 with a cutter. 83 for Zelina, 40 for Sol Ruka. They have great chemistry, which is good to know. Yeah, I'm just going to put Zelina in the ring a bit and see how she does. I'm actually enjoying her in the babyface role in real life, so maybe that's a place she'll go in the future. But for now, she's still... And, of course, Legado, their entire thing got fucked up by Joaquin Wilde's injury, so... Yeah. But yeah, decent matches. She carried Sol quite well. 43 rated promo, but it's going to give Shantae Washington some mic time here. Because the main event is going to be Utami. I know she was just on Raw, but, like... That's how... I imagine the kayfabe thing is Shantae saw she was at Raw, so knew that she'd be in the building, so that's how the match got made. Because, obviously, Utami beat up Naomi last week on SmackDown in a rather aggressive manner. And that's Shantae's tag team partner, so she wants revenge. And, yeah, that's just her promo about that main event tonight, you know. Nothing special. 43 rating, okay, perfectly fine. 69, nice. SmackDown showcase match here, I guess, when DKE and Double Trouble go at it. And it is Double Trouble to pick up the win, because I have been jobbing them out a lot recently. And the DKE story is, like, on hold until after WrestleMania, basically. So I could afford to have them lose and give Double Trouble the win. 57 for Ham, 74 for Morgan, 64 for Kelsey, and a 62 for Anne-Marie. In the aforementioned main event against the 72, Utami defeats Shantae Washington 12-43 with a Samoan drop. 83 for Utami, 41 for Shantae. And thus ends Heat. The penultimate episode of Heat before WrestleMania, might I add. There's only one more episode of Heat left to go until WrestleMania. But what matters more than that is what you thought of the show. Mainly Raw, but also Heat. And I'll see you next time for SmackDown with that huge 6-man tag team main event. See you then.